Card King, here I come. Hello, sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I am your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490am.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program a former NHL two-time Stanley Cup champion. He's a three-time NHL All-Star and an Olympian. Played primarily for the Pittsburgh Penguins as well as the Bruins and other teams. I welcome in left wing Kevin Stevens. Kevin, great to have you.
Hi, Brian. How are you, bud? Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. What an honor. So, Kevin, before I delve into your career, your Hall of Fame career, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing these days and your website, Power Forward 25. Give us all the information.
Yeah, the Power Forward 25 is our foundation that my sister and I started about 5 or 6 years ago. And what we do is we try to help people. I always felt like when you went into treatment, when you finish treatment, where would you go? So what we do is we give people scholarships for 4 to 6 weeks. So when they get out of treatment, we give them that opportunity to go live in a sober house over here in Massachusetts, and give them the ability to kind of be around guys that are gals that are trying to do the same thing they're doing and further their life. So we've given a lot of scholarships. It's been great. It's been something that we really take pride in, and it seems to be working well. And we just had our gala the other night, so we had a big fundraiser. So everything's going well. We're just trying to push forward, but it's been great.
And Kevin, I read a lot about your career before this interview, and it's noted publicly. You had an uphill battle with addiction,
yeah.
But thankfully, you overcame it, and you're graciously giving back to the community with your organization. Now, when did the addiction start? Now, did it start in your late 20s?
Yeah. I was kind of a later bloomer type of thing with the addiction. I was 28 years old. We just won 2 Stanley Cups. We're going for our 3rd Stanley Cup, and I made it 20. I was 20, like I said, I was 28 years old. I made like a 20-second decision one night in New York. Someone handed me something, and now I know it was cocaine, and I tried it. And then from that decision on, for the next 24 years, my life kind of changed. It didn't change like that night, but it changed the path of my life. I had no idea I had that addictive gene or whatever they say that you have, and I activated something that took me down a path. It was tough, and then, like I said, I got sober. Then with the foundation and to help people. So that's our main thing right now. It's been great. I still work in hockey with the Penguins, but that foundation is something my sister and I are proud of, and it's we're helping a lot of people. So hopefully we can keep doing that.
Yeah, and just for my knowledge, because I'm curious, I know it's a soft spot. I don't know if you want to continue talking about this addiction habit.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel that some people just have the gene for addiction?
Yeah, I think they do. I think you have it or you don't have it. I think with me, I had that gene. I know, like I said, I never did a drug until I was 28 years old. I never tried anything. So I think that's the biggest thing about our website too. Is Power Forward 25 is that we want the awareness. I speak to a lot of schools and a lot of different people, but we need to get it out there that you can't even try it. It's not having the ability to even do this. Don't put yourself in situations where you're around this stuff, and it's important because you can't play around with this stuff now. It's life or death, and I know that. I've seen a lot of people that they went out one night and thinking that they're going to wake up the next morning, and they don't. Because the fentanyl's in everything, and it's just you just got to be careful. And I think the more we can get out there and talk about it and spread the word that this is a serious thing in our world. So hopefully we can just put a small dent in it and help.
Yeah, and now did you try alcohol, or was it just primarily
alcohol?
Drugs?
Yeah, alcohol was never a problem. Like it was, I drank in college and stuff like that, just like other people do. But when I tried the cocaine, it kind of switched something in my brain. I don't, I had no idea back then what addiction was. I didn't think I was going to progress into an addict. I thought I'd just jump on the bus the next day and things would be the same. But it's just
this call will be recorded.
Took me in a different way and hit me in a different way, and then I had to go through the process of getting sober, and I did that, and then here I am today. But it's still. It's about awareness, and it's about us talking about it and getting it out there. So people don't even try it, because I had no idea I had this addictive gene in my body. I had this whatever they say it is. I had no clue that I had this in my body.
And the website for everyone listening is powerforward25.com, right?
Yes, powerforward25.com.
And I'm seeing that people can also make a donation, right? They can also make a donation.
You can make a donation on there. You can check out what we do and how we're doing it, and everything's right there. But it's been something that we've been working with for 6 or 7 years now. So it's my sister does a great job running the show with it, and I just try to show up and do the best I can do too.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do after the show, I'm going to make my donation. So I really appreciate the work you're doing, Kevin. My pleasure. So 1983, a big year for you, drafted by the NHL. If you go back to that time period in your life, how did you first find out the NHL was going to draft you? What were you doing that special day?
When I got drafted, it wasn't really a big deal. Like that wasn't like it wasn't like it is now, how they build it all up and they have the first round on Friday night, everything else on Saturday. I got drafted. I got a call, and then my sister actually called me too and said that I heard you got drafted. I was playing baseball. I think it was the summertime, and then it wasn't a day that I sat there and thought, wow, I'm going to get drafted. It wasn't like that back then. We didn't anticipate any of those things. It was just kind of happened, and Pittsburgh drafted me, and I was kind of like, it was great and everything, but I never really thought that I'd get to the point where I got to.
And what's amazing, Kevin, is that everyone knows NHL so big in Canada. For an American player to achieve what you achieved, which is in the record books, what attracted you specifically to hockey?
Yeah, I was one of those guys that played everything. I played hockey, football, and baseball, and a little bit of basketball. So I played all sports, and then I got a scholarship to go to Boston College to play hockey. I liked baseball a little bit more than I would have wanted to play baseball. But when I got the hockey scholarship to Boston College, I think I was a junior in high school, and my sister went to BC, so it was like I love Boston College, and I love the hockey program has always been great. So I got a scholarship to go there. So that kind of thinking that I might play baseball like when the hockey season was over my freshman year, but they were like 5 or 10 games into the season. Everything just kind of didn't work out the way it did. So I just stuck with hockey, and from there, obviously things worked out pretty good.
And we're talking with Hockey USA Hall of Famer Kevin Stevens, who's with us this morning. Kevin, 1983, as I mentioned, NHL draft comes along. You're drafted 6th round, first by the Kings, and then you were off to Pittsburgh. That's how it happened, right?
Yeah. I got traded. I got drafted by the Kings, and then I got traded to Pittsburgh, which Eddie Johnson was the GM there. It tells he made a trade, so he was able to get me to Pittsburgh, and that worked out great. Obviously, coming in there, like I said, I wasn't sure when I first got drafted where this was going to go or anything like that. But so I just worked hard in college. I played with great teammates there, and then I was able to go into Pittsburgh after the Olympics. I played the Olympics in 1988, and after that, I went into Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah, so talk a little bit about the Olympics. How did you get chosen to be in the Olympics in 88?
Yeah, that Olympic program, we had a couple of college tournaments in 87. That still was amateurs today. When now it's the pro guys, but back then it was still amateurs in 88. So, with the Olympics in 1980, everybody wanted to play on the Olympic team, and that was that was quite an honor. Like, I played in some tournaments the year before for U.S. programs. We went to Russia with a team and stuff, so I was able to play well enough to make the Olympic team and go train with them. We started training in August, and the Olympics started in February. So we trained together. We trained 7-8 months together as a team, and then had a good team going over there. But we're still playing against the pro. The Russians were still the pro teams then, so it was. But it was a lot of fun over in Calgary.
Yeah, and I'm just going through these chronologically here. Less than a week after you competed in the Olympics, you go on and debut your first NHL game, March 1st, 1988. That first debut game, what do you recall most about that game? Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was. It was one of those nights where, you think you're ready. You always think you're ready and you're confident that you can go in there and play well. But it was, those are big steps. To play in the NHL, there's so much change. From college hockey, to the Olympics was big, and then the Olympics to the pro game, which is so much big because of just the consistency you got to play with to be a pro. You got to show up every night and play the way you're supposed to and play hard. And that's something you kind of learn as you go. But I think it was great to get there, and Pittsburgh was a great spot. We were kind of rebuilding at that time, so we had a lot of new guys coming in. So it was a really good bunch of guys.
I mean, and also, the early 90s, the Pittsburgh Penguins, I mean, you're talking about a team that had great players. I mean, you had Lemieux, Barrasso, Paul Coffey.
Yeah,
I mean, playing.
Yeah, we had a load of players. Yaga was there.
Yaga, yeah.
Trottier was there. Joey Mullen, Ronnie Francis came in. Alf Samuelson, Shel Samuel. We had Tommy Brass, like you said. We had a really good team for a couple of years there. Like the team, we won 2 in a row, 91, 92. 93 was by far our best team. We got beat. That was the year we got beat by the Islanders in overtime. But that was, we had for a stretch there 3 or 4 years. We had a real strong team.
And Kevin, I mean, playing alongside Lemieux and like you mentioned, Jagger and Trottier. I mean, did these guys take you in? How are they as teammates?
Yeah, we had a great bunch of guys. They're better teammates than players. These guys were awesome to deal with every day, and we just had a great group of guys. Craig Patrick was our GM. He put together a great team, and we were able to accomplish. Whenever you can win, like it's hard. Everybody knows it's really hard to win that Stanley Cup. You got to get great goaltending. Everybody's got to stay healthy. And, you got to have enough depth, so when you do have guys go down, you have guys that step in. And we had all the ingredients to win the Stanley Cups, and we had, great veteran leadership and young guys pushing from one side. So, yeah, that team was well built. We had a great bunch of guys, and, we had a good run there. We probably should have won 3, but we won the 2 there.
And, this is worth noting because I looked this up, and this is all over the internet. I mean, 2 notable NHL seasons, which is still discussed about that 1990s era in the NHL, is when you outscored Wayne Gretzky with goals. I mean, the 91-92 season, you scored like 54 goals with 123 points. I mean, so you did it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I had a couple of good years there, but it was, basically I played with Johnny Cullen. That first year I played with Johnny Cullen and Mark Recchi, and then obviously in the power play with Mario and stuff. And but it was, we just had a good mix of players. We had great defensemen. We were learning how to win, and some of the veteran guys to help with that. So it was a great mix he put together, and we went on a little run there, and like I said, I thought we should have 3, but 2 was good.
And Kevin, another interesting thing about you is that you're a tall guy, but your peers they all say the same thing. I mean, what did you 6'3", 6'4"? I mean, you had such you had such speed on the ice. How did you keep in shape during those times? I mean, did you work out? Like, what was your workout regimen?
Yeah, we worked out hard. I spent most of my summers in L.A. working out with T.R. Goodman out there in L.A. We had probably 20 or 30 guys that worked out in L.A. for like 8 weeks. Then when I came back to Boston and skated, and I went to Pittsburgh. So it was a good. We had a good group of guys to work out with. A lot of guys that played in Pittsburgh were trained in the same group, but it was just now especially really nowadays it's a 12-month. You're going, there's no breaks, there's no nothing. You just keep going, but it's a great life. What else would you rather be doing than playing hockey? There's nothing better than, getting in that locker room with 4 coaches and 20 players and shutting the door and trying to figure out how to beat the Rangers or beat the Flyers. That's a pretty good life when you get to that point there.
And Kevin, now that I have you on the show, I got to ask you: do you still think that do you think the popularity of hockey in this country is down, or is it getting better? I mean, compared to football and baseball.
Yeah, I think it's getting better. It's never going to be that sport that they're going to put on with people in Oklahoma or Tennessee. You're not going to throw a hockey game on in the middle of Saturday afternoon. When there's college football and all this other stuff going on, but for the fan, for the true fan that loves hockey, and the people that know hockey, they love it. It's a great sport, and it's one of those sports that it's a lot of action, and it really is something that people why the ratings. You compare the ratings to the football and the basketball and the baseball to the hockey. It's not the same, but it's the people that love hockey love it, and we get a great. Pittsburgh was a great place to play. We had great fans there.
And Kevin, I don't know if you realize this, Bleacher Report, they put out a list of the top 15 best power forwards of all time. Top 15. I mean, this is a list that includes the great Gordie Howe, Lindros, Messier. They have you ranked number 14. I mean, that says a lot.
Yeah, that's nice to be in those things, I guess. It's I don't know who puts them all together, but it's like as a power forward, I played when you get to play with Lemieux and Ronnie Francis as a center and Johnny Cohen. I played with great centermen, and I was able to get to the net and and score some goals. But it was it's really about winning and the teams we put together. It makes it a lot easier when we got guys that want to win, and we're winning, and you can kind of pull the rope from there. But it was, we had some great. Those are great years for us.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this list. Kevin Stevens, number 4.
Is no longer being recorded.
Kevin Stevens, number 14, and then 15 is Lindros. So you actually outbeat Lindros on this Bleacher Report list. So I have a few minutes left with you. Your induction into the United States of America Hockey Hall of Fame. How important is that to you?
Yeah, that was great. It was something that it happened last year. They did it in Pittsburgh, which even made it that much better. And we had a good ceremony there, and it was a lot of fun. Those are things that happen later in your life that you kind of look back on, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff when you can get inducted into that stuff and be part of it with a lot of guys that I know that I played hockey with the USA programs and stuff like that. So yeah, that was always nice when those things come along. But we've it's been a lot of fun the last. I still work with the Penguins, so I'm still involved with the hockey every day. It keeps you involved a little bit, so it's nice.
Okay, so you still work for the Penguins. So what do you do for them?
I do mostly like scouting, free agent stuff. I do a lot of college free agents and stuff, and going around and seeing the different colleges to try to find out a lot of the kids are drafted, but we're looking for guys that aren't drafted, maybe developed a little later, that might be able to slide in and play some games in the NHL. It's just, you never know. Some guys develop a little bit later. They don't get drafted, at 18, at the age where they get drafted in the NHL, and they slide by the draft, and sometimes you can find someone. But it's fun to be involved. I love the Penguins. That's the team I want to see win, so I like working for the team that I want to see do well,
Yeah, and I got to ask you, because I'm from New York, you also played a brief stint with the Rangers. Did you like playing in New York?
Yeah, I did. I did like playing in New York. I played there when Gretzky was there, and Brian Leach, and Mike Richter, and Granado was there. I think. Yeah, we had a good team too there. And it was, it's so hard to win. Any day, like when they really say if you get in the playoffs, you get a shot because it doesn't matter 1 through 16. You've seen low seeds always win the Stanley Cup. Hockey's one of those sports that really means it. If you get in the playoffs, you get a shot. And we all seen it. And it's a very competitive, like 16 teams. It's really hockey. Hockey is a sport that once that playoffs hit, it's pretty good.
And Kevin, I forgot about that. Gretzky was on the Rangers team, right? You were on the team with Gretzky.
Yeah, I played with Gretzky. I played with the two best centermen, but maybe the best players I ever played with Gretzky and Lemieux, right? So I played with Gretzky for almost 3 years, and I played for Mario for almost 8, I think 8 or 9. So, but it's I've been lucky. I played with young. I played with a lot of good players.
I mean, would you say Gretzky was the greatest player that you ever witnessed? Greatest player you ever witnessed?
I don't know. It's him and Mario. Mario was great too. Mario was banged up a little bit more than Gretz, and played in many games. But skill-wise, Mario was 6'6", 6'5", whatever he was, strong, and he could skate. It's how to size and speed. Gretz was so smooth and was ahead of you, his thinking and passing was amazing. But the two of the top players that ever played, I was lucky enough to play with both of them.
Unbelievable. And finally, I know you're doing appearances. I know you did a couple of sports memorabilia appearances. When's your next upcoming event?
I think I have one like November 30th, which is going to be in Long Island, and I think I got one in Toronto maybe in, I don't know when that one is, maybe November or December too. So, but a couple, I know the one in Long Island's end of November, but I'm not sure about the Toronto one, so we'll see.
Kevin, this sports memorabilia craze, it's huge, and there's a lot of money involved. All these uniforms, and do you still own your uniforms?
I don't really. I should have collected a little more stuff than that. I've got stuff from my younger kids. When they were, I got sticks from Gretzky and Mario signed to them. Like stuff like that. But I don't collect stuff myself where I have memorabilia stuff. No, I don't do that. I wish I did. I should have done it a long time ago.
And isn't it amazing? I mean, the fans still want your autograph.
Yeah, it's crazy. People I think it's got crazier as time. Even I've been out of the game a long time. You still get a lot of fan mail and people want some stuff signed. It's kind of crazy,
Yeah, and before I let you go, I got to mention some of your totals here, your career totals, NHL career. 726 points, 329 goals, 397 assists in 874 regular season games, 103 playoff contests. You represented the international stage on 4 occasions, like we mentioned, Olympic men's ice hockey team. I mean, that's some resume. I mean, definitely Hall of Famer. Any regrets? Any regrets if you think back of your past? Anything that you would change?
Obviously, I wish I didn't make that decision in New York City. I can tell you that much. That led to addiction and some other stuff, and that's probably the one regret that obviously I wish never happened, but it did. And now life goes on, and here we are, and we live a day at a time, and it's been great. But it's it's been a different experience in my career. I had 7 really good years, and I kind of hit that addiction time, and I had 7 years that were tough. So it was. But today life's good, and just trying to move forward, like I said, with our foundation, Power Forward 25, and take it a day at a time and see what happens, and go from there.
Kevin, thanks so much for a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, bud.
Take care. Kevin
bye-bye.
Stevens, Penguins legend, and the website for everyone listening, let me mention it again, powerforward25.com. Check it out to make your donations now. Kevin Stevens, former NHL great. Until next week, happy collecting to all.